Hi, today we're going to read about fire and fire safety, and we're going to find out what happens to Hannibal when Hannibal goes to the hospital. This book, Hannibal Goes to the Hospital, is dedicated to Sam and all of his friends, especially those women and men who are devoted to saving lives and fighting fires, and to the many children who practice fire safety. Kate awakened and stretched. She looked around for Sam, but she didn't see him anywhere. Then she went into Mommy's bedroom, and there he was, curled up next to Mommy. And Mommy had her arm around him. Tilting her head, Kate thought that looked pretty comfortable, so she jumped up on the bed, her tail wagging as she pounced on Mommy. "Oh, Kate! Get off the bed," cried Mommy. Sam squinted. He was sleeping. What was going on? He tried to snuggle against Mommy again, but it was too late. They were both awake now. "Why'd you do that, Kate?" he barked. "We were sleeping." Kate was sad. She hadn't meant to upset Sam. She just wanted Mommy to cuddle her like she had cuddled Sam. She jumped off the bed and ran out the door. She'd go to the clubhouse. Maybe Rudy or Boots would be there. Kate ran across the yard with her feet sinking into the grass that was covered by the icy frost. She could see her breath as she exhaled. She liked the cooler weather and the way she could make little puffs of smoke come from her mouth when she ran. When she got to the clubhouse, there was no one there. "What now?" Kate woofed to herself. Then, curling up on one of the blankets, she decided that she would take a nap and wait for the others. It was warm here, and she started to dream of Mommy cuddling her like she cuddled Sam. But something was happening outside. She didn't want to wake up, but something was wrong. Looking around the clubhouse, Kate thought she smelled something. It was a strange smell, and her eyes were burning. "Smoke!" she barked. Kate jumped up and ran from the clubhouse. She could see what looked like smoke coming from Farmer Campbell's barn, but she wasn't sure. She followed the smell of smoke and ran as fast as she could toward the fire. And then she saw it. The entire barn was engulfed in flames. The red and yellow flames were like great tongues of fire, and they were coming from the doors and windows of the barn. Kate looked up at the door of the hayloft, and she stopped in her tracks. There, standing at the doorway, with flames all around him, was Hannibal. "Hannibal, come down from there," barked Kate with all of her might. But Hannibal wouldn't budge. The fire trucks were everywhere, and there were firemen pulling hoses and spraying water on the barn and the ground. Farmer Campbell was trying to get his cows and horses out of the barn, but no one was paying any attention to Hannibal. "Jump, Hannibal, jump," barked Kate. But Hannibal didn't move. "Jump, Hannibal, jump," she barked again. But Hannibal just stood there. "Hannibal, you have to jump. The barn is on fire," she woofed loudly. But Hannibal just stayed there, looking down at her. Kate ran home as fast as she could. "Sam, Sam, come quick. Farmer Campbell's barn is burning, and Hannibal is trapped," barked Kate. "We have to help him." Sam and Kate ran back toward the barn just in time to see that Rudy and Boots were there ahead of them. "We have begged Hannibal to jump," barked Rudy, "but he just won't budge." "I think he's scared," woofed Boots. "I'm not scared. I just don't want to get hurt," wailed Hannibal. "We have to get him out of there," barked Sam. "He'll catch on fire if we don't." "Well, what can we do?" whimpered Kate. "We can form a ladder to reach him and let him climb down," woofed Bentley. "Bentley, where'd you come from?" barked Rudy. "I saw all of the activity and thought I should check it out. Come on, let's help Hannibal," Bentley woofed. "How can we help? We're only dogs," groaned Boots. We help by trying, growled Bentley, not by just standing around. We can form a ladder and he can climb down. Bentley barked as he shook his head. We can't form a ladder, snarled Boots. Yes, we can, growled Sam. Come on, we can make this work, he directed. Rudy, you're the biggest. You get on the bottom. Boots, you climb on top of Rudy. Kate, you go up next. I know you're a girl, but you're bigger than Bentley and me. How does that sound, Bentley? Is that what you had in mind, woofed Sam? That's right, Sam. I'll go on top of Kate and you climb up on top of me. Hannibal can step out on your back and then climb down, woofed Bentley. The dogs started building their ladder. As each one climbed on top of the other, they braced themselves, using their front paws against the barn. Hold on, Hannibal. We're going to save you, barked Sam. Rudy braced himself. Then Boots climbed on top of him. Next came Kate. I'm really scared, cried Kate. Those flames are getting close. Hurry, you guys, Hannibal meowed down to his friends. It's getting real hot up here, and things are starting to fall. Bentley climbed up on top of Kate. Then Sam climbed up, but it was too much for Rudy, and all of the dogs tumbled to the ground. Shaking himself, Sam yelled up to Hannibal. Hannibal, you must jump, he roared. Hannibal braced himself. He could feel the flames getting closer, and the straw on the floor was starting to burn around him. He was scared. And then it happened. Some of the burning straw blew against him. Hannibal's fur was on fire. I'm coming down, he screeched as he jumped from the burning barn. Landing on the ground feet first, Hannibal started running around in circles trying to put out the flames, but the flames were circling all around him. The dogs were scared. They all stood in front of Hannibal, and in unison they barked as loudly as they could. Stop, drop, and roll, Hannibal. Stop, Hannibal, drop and roll. Hannibal stopped running in circles and began rolling on the ground until the flames were extinguished. The friends gathered around. He looks pretty bad, woofed Kate. Sam ran to the firefighters and barked and woofed until one of them noticed him. He grabbed hold of the firefighter's pants and pulled him over to where Hannibal lay. Get a stretcher over here, yelled the firefighter. The firefighters placed Hannibal on the stretcher and then put the stretcher into the ambulance. All of the dogs jumped up next to him. The siren sounded, and the ambulance driver went at full speed to the animal hospital. The veterinarian hooked up Hannibal to an IV line, bandaged his burns, and then let the dogs in to sit with him. Thank you for all trying to save me, meowed Hannibal. Hannibal, we were so scared. What happened, barked Sam. I don't know. I was in the hayloft of the barn, mouse hunting like I do every morning when the flames started coming up from the bottom floor. I'm just glad that Kate came when she did. Thank you, Kate, he purred. And thank all of you for reminding me to stop running around and to drop and roll to put out the flames. My burns could have been a lot worse if you hadn't reminded me of what to do. Hannibal meowed as he held up his paw to high-four his canine friends. You're welcome, Hannibal, but we should all remember that we should never play with fire, and if we're in a fire, that we should stay low and crawl to the nearest exit. And if we catch on fire, we need to stop moving and drop and roll to put out the flames, woofed Sam. Suddenly, there was a commotion outside of Hannibal's room. People were screaming, and it sounded like chairs were being turned over. Rudy opened the door to check things out. That's when the two little field mice came scurrying into the room. What the heck, barked Boots. Oh, if I could just get out of this bed, I could have lunch, roared Hannibal, as he licked his lips at the sight of the two furry critters. Now just a minute, Hannibal, squeaked the older and larger mouse. We just came to make sure you were all right. We were worried about you, even though you are our arch enemy. Why do you care how Hannibal is doing, woofed Bentley. because we're the ones who started the fire in Farmer Campbell's barn. We were cold, so we were trying to push the straw up against the crack in the boards to keep out the cold air," screeched the younger mouse. "How did that start the fire?" barked Sam. "There was a lamp in the barn that Farmer Campbell lights sometimes when he needs to see in the dark. So we tried to strike a match to light the lamp when we dropped the match onto the straw," replied the older mouse. "We didn't mean to start the fire. We feel real bad, and we are real sorry," mumbled the two mice. "Don't you know that you should never ever play with matches?" growled Kate. "But we weren't playing. We were trying to light the lamp," squeaked the older mouse. "It's the same thing. Only adults should strike matches. You owe Farmer Campbell an apology, and look at poor Hannibal. He is hurt real bad," scolded Boots. Just then Farmer Campbell came into the room. He stroked Hannibal's forehead and petted each of the dogs. He didn't see the mice because they heard him come in. They quickly hid under the bed. "Is he going to be okay?" Farmer Campbell asked the doctor. "He'll be back mousing again before you know it," replied the doctor. "Good, I'm glad to hear it. I can replace a barn, but a cat like Hannibal is something else." "I'm happy he'll be okay," said Farmer Campbell as he gave Hannibal and the dogs one last pat and then walked out of the room. The two mice ran out behind him. They could see Hannibal licking his lips, and they didn't want to be his lunch. "We better get going, Hannibal. We'll be back tomorrow to see you," woofed Sam. As the dogs ran back to their homes, Sam moved close to Kate. "Kate," he gently barked, "before you came, Mommy read stories to me every night. I'd like it if you would read with us tonight." "I'd like that, Sam, thanks," woofed Kate as she gently bumped against her furry brother. "I like having a sister," thought Sam as they walked close together toward home. "A brother is the best thing in the whole world," thought Kate. So remember, the character lesson in Hannibal Goes to the Hospital is about fire safety. Never ever play with matches. Don't ever try to strike a match. Only adults should strike a match to light a fire or a lamp. And if you're ever caught in a burning building, stay close to the floor and crawl toward an exit. If you catch on fire, stop moving and drop and roll to put out the flames. Remember, a barker is always fair and honest. I hope you've liked reading the Sam and Friends books. Take care and have a great day.